Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to present about art history. My name's Afika Nabila binti Arman Sani. Matric number 09DRG25F1024. Class DRG1A. Today's topics are about Renaissance art, Islamic art, Asian art, 19th century art. About Renaissance art, it was begin in 1300 until 1600 BCE. The meaning of this art is the resurrection of classical art from ancient Greece. It is a reaction towards medieval art, Middle Ages, Dark Ages. It also has its own intention like to understand and explore human experience and nature in a rational and physical manner. Lastly, the theme for the Renaissance art are religious, history, mythology and portraits applied on painting, architecture and sculpture. The beginning of the movement and its development, it started in Italy around 1300 until 1600 BCE. It means resurrection. It represented the transition from the Middle Ages. The reshuffle brought about a new sense of life and ideas, subjective consciousness, attraction to world events. Renaissance is divided into three sections. 1. Early period, 1300–1340. 2. The Glorious period, 1340 to 1480. 3. Last age, Mannerism, 1480 to 1500. Early period, 1300–1340. Giotto is widely acknowledged as the artist who advocated resurrection. The Middle Age, Dark Ages were an interruption between the ancient glorious ages. These are the example of Renaissance arts. The glorious period first, the figures are compiled in pyramid compositions. It looked compact by using the harmonious second. It also used light, dark shades to create figure or subject. The method of one point of linear perspective. The last ages, mannerism. Lastly, subject matter and medium. Michelangelo continued with the style introduced by Leonardo da Vinci and Raphael. Now we will move to Islamic art. The key ideas about Islamic art is mosque equals main building for worship. Mosque directs attention to Mecca through a mihrab, a niche. It also has calligraphy and the most prized art form. Historical background. Prophet Muhammad, born in Arabia in 570 CE, at height of Byzantine Empire, was wealthy, had spiritual awakening in his early middle age, received the word of God, Quran, from the angel Gabriel. Begins preaching in Mecca, criticizing the wealthiest residents who get rich at the expense of others. Muhammad is forced to flee from Mecca, flight known as the Hegira, goes to Medina, where his preaching gathers. We are moving to Asian art. It have three types of Asian arts. 1. Chinese art. 2. Japanese art. 3. Indian art. The Chinese art has its own characteristic. For example, form of art were heavily influenced by great philosophers, teachers, and political leaders. Painting, shansui, mountain water, landscape painting was the primary subject in the Tang dynasty. The core idea is Chinese art expresses the connection between humans, nature, and the universe. Now, moving on to Japanese art. What is Japanese art? Japanese art refers to the traditional and modern visual arts of Japan, developed over thousands of years. It reflects the country's nature, religion, simplicity, and harmony, showing deep respect for beauty in everyday life. It has their own influence. The introduction of bronze Buddha statue in 552 BC spread Buddhism and influenced Japanese art, which also reflects influences from Korea and China. Popular style, ukiyo-e, Japanese for pictures of the floating world, is the best known style. Medium, woodblock printing was a highly developed visual art, adapted during the Edo period, 1603 to 1867. Asian art, Indian art, meaning Indian art refers to the diverse artistic traditions that developed across India from ancient times to the present day. It reflects religion, philosophy, and daily life, showing deep spirituality and cultural richness. Core idea: Indian art is strongly influenced by Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, expressing the belief that art is a path to the divine and spiritual truth. Last but not least, 19th century. What is 19th century art? 19th century art refers to the artistic movements and styles that developed roughly between 1800 and 1900, a century marked by rapid social, political, and technological changes. Neoclassicism. Meaning: classicism in 19th century art means an artistic style that was inspired by the ideals and beauty of ancient Greece and Rome. Core idea: the core idea of classicism or neoclassicism is that art should reflect reason, discipline, and universal beauty. It teaches moral values such as courage, honor, and duty, showing that art can guide people toward virtue and rational thought. Romanticism. Meaning: Romanticism was an art movement in the 19th century that focused on emotion, imagination, and individual expression, the opposite of the calm reason and order of classicism. Core idea: idea of Romanticism is that art should express human emotion and imagination, showing the beauty, power, and mystery of life. Realism. Focus: concerned with truth and accuracy in all subjects. Goal: to portray a realistic image of the eye, similar to photography, rejecting traditional painting and fiction. Impressionism. Meaning: art movement that began in France around the 1870s. It focused on capturing the immediate impression of a moment, especially the effects of light, color, and atmosphere. Core idea: capture the fleeting moment, the changing effects of light, time, and movement. Artists painted what they saw and felt, often outdoors, on plein air, using quick brushstrokes and bright colors. Art Nouveau. Meaning: Art Nouveau, French for new art, was an art and design movement that appeared in Europe around 1890 to 1910. It aimed to create a modern style that broke away from old historical art traditions. Core idea: Art Nouveau is to unite art and life by bringing natural forms and flowing lines into all areas of design. That's all from me. Thanks for watching.